Alright, next, cast replay thing, the ZvP that I promised. Navrin here again. I forgot to do the intro at the beginning. In a ZvP versus Barcode guy from Clan Barcode. On Whirlwind, if you can see at the minimap. And, it's a ZvP, so. Last cast was actually really not cool. I felt like I didn't say anything at all. But I said a lot, so it was really boring, but it didn't seem to really help. It was just like a bunch of little tips. More about composition and more about scouting early game, which I seem to always fail to do. I think that's like my one bad thing. So in this game, I'm going to actually just cast from my perspective, and I'll try not to pause too much or miss too many fights. Oops, don't want to do that. So it's going to be cross positions, as you see. I'm just going to commentate on everything I do. So, I like to do, on 4-player maps, I'm not quite sure, but I like to do a 50, I would rather a 15 hatch, but pool first is standard, so you can always do, there's no harm in doing pool first, but in 4-player maps, especially if they take a long time to spawn, a long time to scout, then I don't think a 15 hatch is too bad. Obviously, I gotta send my... I keep saying a lot. I should stop doing that. Gotta send the first two overlords in the opposite directions. Unless you want to keep the second one at the natural so you can see if you're getting cannon rushed. I went Damn it, I said it again. I went hatch first, as I did. And they went forge first, so... if they scout me and I was here and they saw I had hatch first and they started cannon rushing me, it'd be really hard for me to hold off because I already didn't have a drone here patrolling. So they could like make a pylon wall or something and then cannon, and then the hatch is dead. Because by the time my drones get there to attack the cannons, they probably have already like a really like horrendously cannon rushy sim city, so I can't attack it. But regardless, I did a really greedy build also because it was a 4-player map. I did like gas into pool. I didn't know that I only had 2 drones on gas, but that's whatever. That's just stupid of me. And my minerals start to get really high, like at 330, and I didn't really like whatever. My minerals are still really high. I know the pool's not up, so then I can't spend it. But that's one of the consequences of going gas first, is that I can't really spend the minerals because I can't spend it on Queen earlier because my pool is delayed because I went gas first, so. Little things like that. I still haven't scouted them yet. I am pretty sure Protoss is on Whirlwind Scout clockwise. However, don't quote me on that because I don't actually know. I find out that I have enough for link speed, and what I do this game is really weird because this is like the last game of my laddering session and I was like really tired. I can't ladder too much. I can only play like 10 games or so a day or straight. Very rarely will I do more. More likely I will do less because I'm just that kind of person. So I don't know any of this because I haven't scouted any of this, and I finally see, okay, gas. I see the gas because I ran a ling in and it died. And I see the cyber core also. Okay, and I make 20 lings, and ling speed's not done. What I wanted to do was, I wanted the lings to match up with the ling speed and go in, and hopefully this won't be walled off. But that is like, looking back on it, this situation, that is a very stupid thing to assume. And, I mean, even just like a gateway here was whatever. It's really bad. So, they have a probe here. They see that I don't have a third here, which is a logical place to take a third because if it's cross position, then say the Protoss takes a third here, they still have to go all the way here, and this is like a really open area, as opposed to going down here, which is a much less open area because like this entire part, I can't flank from there because I just don't spawn from there. Whereas if they come from here, I can much easily flank over here from left side because my units, I can just send my units to left side because they're at my third. and then my rallying units that come out here can flank over here. So, yeah. Did that make sense? Could it work the other way around? I don't remember, but we'll just keep watching. So, I still haven't scouted anything yet, and that's one of the problems with cross spawns, is that your overlords just simply don't get there in time. I mean, this got one here, this got here like really, really late, and I should really send it in time. I mean, it is still 6:30, so I see that, okay, well, I can't do anything, so that's kind of stupid of me. And I'm like, okay, time to make drones, because I'm bad. Also, time to get supply blocks, I'm also bad. I'm like, layer, okay, minerals still really, really high. I'm trying to spend it as quick as I can, but that is just things that happen. And I'm like, okay, 2 Evo chambers, because this is going late game. This is cross spawn, so I have a bit of time before this happens. I'm also scared because this is another gateway, so this could be a gateway push. And I haven't really scouted anything of in the main yet. I should really send these in. What I think to be standard for ZvP is to go your link speed and then right after go overlord speed, so you scout. But I don't do that a lot of times, and I actually end up losing to like 4 gates or like something really, really stupid because I just didn't scout the follow-up, or like double Starcade Void Rays, and then I make 2 little Hydras too late and then they all die and then I lose. So finally send the overlords here. Finally getting overlord speed, getting 1-1, getting all that great stuff. Oh, resources still pretty high. I mean, that's 300 gas. I mean, I could definitely be spending it something better. I make a macro hatch, which is great. Getting my creep spread. Creep spread, I've been... I don't know if I've been doing them quite as well. I realized that I never really appreciated creep spread before because some games, like now, I just don't do any creep spread. And then it seems like I don't have any vision because creep spread gives vision. And not just like obvious. That's pretty obvious, but it's not like it gives vision all the way to here. Like if I spread creep all the way here, then I have vision all the way here. Then if their army comes out, then I will see their army coming out. Many times in ZvT nowadays, I don't do creep spread just because I make a bunch of units or I make whatever. I don't make that extra queen to creep spread, and then all of a sudden, like a Hellbat Marauder all in comes in, and I'm just like, well, derp, I'm dead. And then I just leave the game because I didn't make banelings. I didn't have bane speed or something. And here is a questionable engagement as I do lose all lanes, but I just want to bait out some force fields. And the whole point of baiting out force fields is that I need to attack right after this. Do I attack? I make Hydras, Overlords. It looks like I'm gearing up to attack. So, making a bunch of roaches. Okay, looks like if I gear up to attack and I bait out force fields, that's great. If I don't, then baiting out force fields won't do anything because they'll just regen the energy and I've just lost a bunch of links for nothing. So these Void Rays don't actually die, despite popular belief. That's also a problem. I don't know if this was a problem, if this would have killed the Void Rays, but obviously it was a big mistake of keeping everything on one hotkey. Those roaches might probably block the Hydras from getting more shots in for the Void Rays. Maybe I could have killed one if they weren't blocking, so... I saw a little glimmer here, and I moved the Overseer, because that is Overlord speed, and killed the Observer. And 2-2 should be on the way, but I actually am gas-starved, as I've done nothing but make drones and whatever. So, all of a sudden, I thought I was gearing up for an attack, and this person just delayed me with 2 Void Rays for, like, so much time. And I was trying to work on these rocks before, and the consequences are that I can't kill this person. And apparently time warps means you move really slowly. Force fields means you can't move. So pretty much this is like fungal growth and force field, and the game's over. Or your armies, or my army's dead. And once again, I have everything on one hotkey, so when I A move, my Overseer goes there too. I really need to stop having everything on one hotkey. And what was supposed to be Zealot, Stalker, Sentry, so Gateway units, Immortals, and these 2 Void Rays weren't even here. Immortal and Gateway units against Mass Roach Hydra. Suddenly Mass Roach Hydra dies. And it's not because Protoss is imbalanced, which it is, lol. Hugh. No, I'm joking. I don't actually quite have the knowledge to call that yet, but I could have used this flank. I could have used this flank. It's only at 2 cannons. I could have easily killed this with like 8 roaches or something. But instead, I forced myself to be trapped in these time warps because I was like, okay, I gotta go move in now. But then, because maybe my opponent's not watching, but that's one of those like cheesy thoughts that people have. And I lose my army because of it. I mean, the sentries are in front, and every time sentries are in front, it's a good thing because they end up dying first. But as you can see, resources lost have heavily skewered. And my opponent is on 3 base economy, fully saturated minerals, haven't got the gas yet. And getting thermal lances, and forgot to make a warp gate. Whereas I am saturating my gas, I'm on 3 bases, getting my 4th, which, don't know about that. And I just keep producing roaches, and I still don't think I started my +2 armor yet because I actually don't have gas, and I made more roaches because I want to attack now. Because they have less force fields, obviously. Every time you attack a Protoss, they're going to have less defense each time. They might have more army and more offensive units, but each time they'll have less defensive units, but more offensive units. And they're also taking a 4th base, which I saw. I guess that was why I attacked, because I really didn't want a Protoss to get a 4th, especially one that's so like open here. And these rocks, you should kill them. Every time you're not doing anything with your army, you should just kill them. My Overlord spread has been pretty horrendous, and it will be evident later in the game, as I don't actually have that much vision, even though my creep spread has been okay. Getting these observers are always great, because observers usually hover over your army. It's kind of embarrassing too. Overseers, when you make a lot of overseers, especially in ZvT, when you scout for widow mines, people usually just tend to drop changelings, and I do that too. But I try to contaminate the upgrades or contaminate something. So I contaminated the robo facility in this one. But in ZvT, upgrades are so important these days because people get really quick +1s, +1/1. 1/1s for timings because of like the flash openings and like really economic greedy openings that are safe. So I guess it's a good opening because it's greedy and it's safe. So why not? This army is actually really small. I'm maxed out, but I for some reason wanted to wait for my corruptors. I'm only 2-1, and I think I have 1 melee. No, I don't have any upgrades at all. And questionably, I could have attacked this. I know there's like these ridges, but if I split properly and engaged, I'm pretty sure I could kill this. There's no mothership core to recall. But instead, I decide, okay, whatever. And here comes a warp prism, totally undetected, because I didn't have any Overlord vision here. And once again, I'm like patch zerging it up, moving across my entire army, and I see them moving into position. And this is great by them because, you know, harass at one side, move in the other. It's very Terran and droppy. But force field, and all of a sudden half my army's trapped. And the only good thing about it is the concave from my corruptors, which the Colossus aren't exactly killing the vital Hydras. You always, good Protoss, always want to target Hydras because they destroy Hydralists. I don't know why Hydralists are light units, but they are, and they only have 80 health. Colossus do 19 damage, 2 attacks, so that's 38 damage to Hydras. So like 38 damage, so like two volleys, 2 Colossus laser beams, and like a tickle from a sentry, and they'll die. So it's not like anything. And Hydras and Roaches against small units like these. And my opponent was really far ahead. They could have turtled on 4 bases and transitioned to air, but instead, nope, didn't happen. Didn't get the upgrades. Macro lacking a bit, but once again, this is proving the earlier theory that I just said about every time you engage a Protoss army, they will always have less defensive units, and that was true. In this case, they didn't have enough offensive units to kill me. And once again, war prisms are really annoying, as I do have to deal with them again. And it seems like I'm really far ahead, so why is this game only halfway done? So I'm moving here, patch zerging it up, no scouting information. And once again, there's a giant Colossus army, and I don't have the correct composition to deal with it because I didn't scout. So I'm waiting for my corruptors now. I'm like, okay, well at least I can try to kill the 4th, right? And I was gravely mistaken, and 2 force fields cost me a bunch of roaches. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, obviously I don't want to lose roaches to kill nothing, to kill cannons, because they are gas. They do cost 25 gas apiece. But I can still replace them with more corruptors, and I guess I made more roaches, so it's not like anything. And I kept making roaches because they die less quickly than Hydras against Colossus, and because I have so many corruptors, I'm going to, after I kill the Colossus, I'll still have enough to kill the Void Rays, so it's not like, and I do have Contaminate. And this is really annoying. And defense against DTs, and this comes from like back in Wings of Liberty, try to have an Overseer. I know they cost gas, but Spore Crawlers die. And they die relatively quickly to DTs, because DTs are really, really good. And nice little micro here, actually. And, I'm getting my Greater Spire, I think. Oh, well, I don't even have my Hive yet. That's kind of sad. I think that's also a problem I have, is that I don't actually get Vipers in ZvP. I really should, but it seems like I'm so intent on killing the Protoss before they have their, like, 4 bases. Because if you get Vipers, it means you're getting Hive. It means you need a lot of gas, because each one of those Vipers costs 200 gas. You're going to need to be like 5 bases worth of gas to get Vipers and gas units for a good composition. But to do that, you need to give the Protoss room. And if the Protoss has room for like 3 or 4 bases, especially on something like Whirlwind, which is like 3rd base is here, 4th base is here, it's like so far apart, then they're going to get air and they're going to kill you. So in my opinion, Skytoss and Storm is like incredibly hard to defeat. I think Storm itself and time, if you ever get time warped and stormed, it's like GG. So anyways, I go attack. I don't bother splitting because I'm like, okay, I have Corruptors and I don't have that much ground army. So attacking this army, a lot of roaches are dripping around. I finally see that, okay, they're dripping around. And I attacked right before Storm was complete, and they had to morph Archons to survive. And once again, my Corruptors kill everything. And right now I'm like, okay, I need a Greater Spire because I have a bunch of Corruptors. They're weak. If I make them Broodlords, they're full health again. And they don't really do anything if my, it's like the last game where the Protoss doesn't have to deal with my air, because I only have Corruptors, because they don't attack ground, so they only have to deal with my air stuff. And once again, the Overlord spread hasn't been going great, and rallying units fortunately kill stuff. Patch surging it up. Can't exactly defend these drops as great as I can. I mean, I did split a bit, but not too much. 2 Spines, and Spines die like to Zealots. Like late game Zealots, which are like 3-3 or something. 3-2 in this case. They destroy Spine Crawlers. It's not even funny. It's actually kind of funny for the Protoss, I guess, but it's not funny for the Zerg. At this point, my opponent seems like they have 150 supply, which is still pretty high, and that's because they're producing a lot of units. Colossus are just a lot of units. So, looks like still 4 base from the toss. Really fortunate for me, because now I'm like, okay, maybe they have a 5th, but then I start pooping creep. So once again, I attack. Concave's much better here, but still I've been A moving. Bit of Storm, bit of microing back, and the Colossus are slowly dying. And finally I try to kill all these gateway units. And Blink Stalkers are like the most cost efficient thing ever. So yeah. Obviously this is a joke because there's Swarm Hosts and Broodlords, but they die if you aren't careful. I'm like, okay, I made a bunch of links because I need gas for Broodlords, but all of a sudden I didn't actually expect them to come attack me with this straggly force. I guess they were feeling the pressure too. And they actually kill a bunch of lings. If I made like Roach Hydra, then this would be a lot easier to kill, but I'm kind of stupid like that. So finally I ward them back as I do make a bit of Roach Hydra, realizing that, okay, I'm fucked. And those lings that I decided, because I made a bunch of lings because I decided to get level 3 melee instead of carapace. So yeah. And them killing the Broodlord eggs aren't that bad because I do get the cancel money back. Same with like ZvZ. If someone's morphing Baneling cocoons and you kill the Baneling cocoons, you get that money back. Or they get the money back. Whoever has the cocoons getting killed. So it's not too bad. Like if I cancel them and move them away, or I cancel them and they died, it's not like anything changes. Really big mistake from me is that these Archons are like really weak. I could probably kill like, and maybe kill one of them. Actually, I don't know. If they're really like, because their health, even though it's full green, it's only 10 health, so it's like 1 hit or 2 hits depending on whatever upgrades and stuff. So my opponent keeps morphing Stalkers because Stalkers are the most cost efficient thing, and my opponent's finally being mined out, and this game still has another 10 minutes for some reason. Long distance mining, I see that there's no fourth. This Overlord should be here so they can plant a Nexus, but I was just occupied, I guess. And my opponent is clearing out the Overlords, getting whatever they can. And these like Zealot things have been really annoying. I haven't been showing this game, but my opponent was really far ahead. I finally get 4 Broodlords up. My opponent was really far ahead, and they had a bunch of minerals. Only because I threw, so. But then, well, I threw my position is what I meant. I didn't mean like through my advantage. So they had a bunch of minerals, and they kept using these counterattacks, which were really annoying. But as you can see, I didn't actually lose that many things. I mean, I didn't get another expansion, but that's about it. And once again, poor Overlord spread really shows. And my Protoss opponent's like, okay, you know what? If I throw up 2 Nexus, maybe one of them will get up. And I think both of them get up. I don't quite remember. Again, Zealots are really strong. I saved this barely, but War Prism, Harass, and DTs once again are really good. I say my Greatest Spire, but 1 DT can kill that, and once again, no Spore or no 1 Overseer, I can't see anything. So they get this Nexus up, kind of cool with the Crete Nexus thing. And my opponent's mining a lot. I gotta stop this. They're mining like double my mineral amount, and Time Warp doesn't really save it, and the Mothership Core is whatever. And in this case, my opponent's like, okay, Broodlords on this giant ridge, and this I have positional advantage. Finally, this like one time in this entire game, I have positional advantage, and they can't push me. And I have some Infestors too, because I had a bunch of gas, and I didn't want to make Vipers, because Vipers don't exactly do damage. And I kill off some Colossus here. And actually, this is the point where my opponent is still really far ahead. As you can see, they're attacking me here. They're attacking me here. They're denying expansion. I'm still really on 4 base, which is really on like no base. I'm running mined out. But they A moved way too quick, and they had everything on 1 hotkey because, you know, that's just the nature of people. And they lost like 3 Colossus. So all of a sudden, on this big area, I have a huge concave, unintentionally, and I have fungal growth against Archons, which Archons aren't that great against Roach Hydra, but like in this scenario, they aren't attacking. You see, those Archons aren't doing anything, and they just got completely destroyed. My Broodlords are way too strong, way too little Blink Stalkers to blink forward and kill my other stuff. And all of a sudden, he tries to snipe my they try to snipe my hatchery with the remaining Blink Stalkers. Which, if they saved, then they would have been even in supply, but apparently they really want this hatchery dead. Which I understand, but Stalkers against hatcheries aren't exactly great. Zealots are better, obviously. I'm like, okay, you just lost your entire army. You can't defend the space. I mean, there's no possible way. I have to attack. So, once again, where it's like low econ game again. These War Prisms are really annoying. And, yep. This Zealot Harass isn't really doing anything. I'm not even mining minerals from there. Although I'm mining gas, I guess. And I'm like, okay, I can't actually make anything here. I don't have a spawning pool, a Roach Horn, or anything. All I can make are drones, Overlords, Infestors, and Swarm Hosts, because I only have an Infestation Pit that I remade here for some reason. Because I was lazy, probably, so I'm like... And this was, like, the biggest throw in the world, so... Before... I had to go back because that was just hilarious. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm really far ahead because they just threw all their Stalkers. I denied their mining bases. I'm getting this base up, and I can finally mine from this one base. Oops, I just screwed it up again. So I'm like, okay, I have 23 roaches, 22 hydras, 5 infestors, and 4 broodlords. So if I were to engage this army, I should have everything with me, right? Including these broodlords. But I was like, oh, I can't wait. I gotta attack. Because probably they aren't watching. But in reality, what are they really watching? What does this Protoss have to look at? Like, nothing. There's nothing to macro because there's nothing to mine. And really, they're just, it's not like, oh, I need some upgrades, or I'm looking at something else, or I'm injecting because I'm Protoss, or I'm chrono boosting because I'm Protoss. So all they have to look at is their army. So for them to, like, for me to think that I could catch this person off guard, because I did think that this is a great fungal spot, and it is. It's a fantastic fungal spot. There's 4 Colossus here. All the corruptors I had before to kill the Colossus are gone. I only have 4 broodlords. From the remaining corruptors I had. And I attack this with Roach Hydra. And I move into some force fields, and I fungal, and I'm like, okay, all my units are shooting. I should be going good, but all my units just died, and that was like the biggest throw in the entire history of throws. And they're actually like ahead of me in like 22 supply or something. But I'm still mining. And I still can't make anything because I don't have any structures at all. Like, Jesus Christ, that's kind of sad. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Just time to make swarm hosts, because I'm not gonna make more infestors. That would just be weird. So I just had to make more. Finally get my pool up, and I had to make lings because I can't make roaches because I still need a roach horn. So I find this base, I'm like, I really want to deny it, but I can't because the army's there. I'm like, okay, swarm hosts. Once again, I make swarm hosts when I don't know what to make, and they're like, lol, OP hosts, and they leave the game, and I say Hugh. Because I'm really scared, because I thought swarm hosts are really bad, because Colossus with range can just kite Locust forever. But I realized swarm host broodlord, that's not really kiteable. That's actually just hardcore. So even though I had really low amounts of units, I still prevailed, and this looks cool again. This actually didn't happen for me when I was playing because I play on low settings, so I think this cast was better. It was more personal, or more, not personal, but more like in there, as opposed to like last cast, which was just like back there, which I just talked about random things about the matchup, not about the game itself. This was more about game itself. This was more about position. This was more also about composition, as I always fail to do something about it. And this game was also about Game of Throws, where we both threw many times, but I guess they threw one more time than I did. So I hope you enjoyed that cast. My throw was like destroying. I don't know how to like edit videos and stuff, so I just keep talking. So thank you for watching.